Hello students, in this video we are going to discuss this problem. So let's begin the observation part here. This question can be done by the two ways. The first is going to be the algebraic way and another is graphical way. Here the graphical way is not going to be discussed because you attempted this problem by the algebraic way. That's why I'm not going to discuss this one. I will discuss the graphical way or the graphical approach here. So let's begin the solution part here. So first of all, you will have this kind of equation. We just bring this term in the right hand side if you observe. Now, if you observe one thing, that if we have square root and something inside it, so this is something inside it must be what? Greater than equal to 0. Okay, so here I will say that this value must be greater than equal to 0. Now I will multiply with a negative, so I will have this inequality now. Afterwards, bring the 1 in the right hand side, or you can say just add 1 on the both sides. So you will have this inequality. Now you must know this is going to be what? X greater than equal to -1 and less than 1 here. So from here we can say one thing, the domain of this inequality will be between -1 and 1 here. Now we can break this function, that is absolute function, into two parts. The first is going to be x greater than 0. The next is going to be x less than 0 here. Now we know one thing, if we have absolute function, it will be open as it is when it is greater than or equal to 0, and if it is the value less than 0, in that case it will open with a negative sign. Okay, so I just open with a negative sign here, and here I just open with a positive sign. Now if you observe one thing in this equation, that whatever the value you put, it will satisfy between this domain I am saying. Okay, why? If you recall the graph of root x, the graph of root x looks like this, is it or not? Yes. Use this idea and we will plot this curve. Similarly, we know the graph of this one, that is y equal to x. Okay, let's quickly plot them one by one. So we will plot 0 and -1 because in between 0 and -1 we are just looking. Now if you try to draw the curve for this one, if you put 0 here, you will get root 1, that is going to be 1. Okay, that's why this value is what? 1 here. Now if you put 0 here, that we discussed. Now if you put -1 here, it is going to be what? Root 0, that is going to be 0 here. Now the graph of this part must be look like this, is it or not? Because we know the root x graph. Okay, it will be like this. Now let's try to draw the graph for this one. It is quite again easy. This is the line, this is the line for what? Y equal to x, that we know already, but we are just considering the -1 to 1 part. So here the graph, if you observe, this graph is always below this part. This implies that all the values of this is always going to be greater than this one. So it will satisfy all the points from -1 to 0. Now we have to look at the next case. Let's quickly see the next case here. Now here let's quickly try to plot the graph for this one. It is going to be this, that is y equal to x, that we already know, that we just plotted here. Now afterwards, again it is going to be similar concept. Now here the graph will look like how? Let's try to see. If you put 0 here, you will get 1. Okay, that means it will start something here. Now if you put the 1 here, it will be 0, so it seems like this. Okay, it seems like this. Okay, now we just plotted them. Now if you observe one thing, we want this curve above this curve. So this is going to be the region where this curve is going to be what? Above the curve. Now here we just want this point of intersection, we can say, and point of intersection can be find by this, that is just equate these two curves equal to and try to solve it by first squaring on the both sides, so you will get this equation. And now we have the quadratic equation, that is x square plus x minus 1 equals to 0 here. Now what we do, we are going to try to find the roots here. So what are the roots of this equation? It is going to be, first is minus 1 plus root 5 by 2. The next one is going to be this one. Now if you observe this part, it is going to be rejected. Why is it so? Because we are talking about x greater than equal to 0 here. Now this value is negative, so this is going to be rejected here. So from here we can say this point, or the point of intersection, is going to be this one only. So from here we got minus 1 to 0, we got minus 1 to 0, and from here what we are getting, from 0 to what, minus 1 plus root 5 by 2. Okay, this is we have. Okay, I'm not going to include this point. Why? Because at this point this curve and this curve is going to be what, equal, and we want that this curve must be above this one. So we will not going to consider this equality. Actually we will consider what here, we will consider only the open interval. Now let's take the union from these two. What we will be getting, this one. Okay, so this is going to be the final answer here. For such videos you can subscribe to this channel, and thank you.